Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It is day 2 on this. I've done a wee little bit so far. I'll show you guys what I've done, and then we'll get to filming, and we'll film some of this, you know, some more for you guys. But I should film this. This is cool stuff. I love when things come apart and you get to see it, but unfortunately I didn't film this. We got the tranny off. You can see there we got it off. So I just used a cherry picker and I hook a strap around it, and then I hook my hook to my strap and take it off. What works really good are dyno straps, or big fat thick straps. And on these MT82s I went a little far forward. I was like right here. If you put it about right here, right about where the case splits, that is about the 50-50 weight ratio. You wonder why? It's because all the gears and the heavy stuff's in basically from here to here. That's the heavy part of it. This doesn't really weigh that much, so if you split it about there, that covers the weight of the bell housing. But yeah, so we got that out. Now we got the clutch on here. He has a Specorino, so we're gonna go ahead and take the Specorino off, and we have a new McLeod R. Oh shoot, he went RST. All right. I guess it only makes what it makes, but my experience with my RST was really good. Actually, I can't say that I hated it or anything, but drivability was nice. I will say that. It's more for a daily. I think this setup, what he's doing, an XT would have been a lot better choice. That's my personal opinion. But, you know, when you're trying to go fast, an XT, when it spins, it'll hook back up. Same with this. I think this clutch in here, the spec is the same. If it starts slipping, it'll actually heat up and bite again, whereas this, which is and I'll show you guys the disc, this what we call organic material, it definitely does not like to be heated up. It actually, as it gets hotter, will tend to slip more. So if it starts getting slipped, it will continue to slip. And you can see that's an organic material right there. That's what they look like. Versus if you look at if you look at an RXT, it's got pads and they're semi-metallic. So they're kind of a golden color. The funny thing is, all these guys utilize the same freaking manufacturer of that disc. I think that so many companies use that same person that makes that disc. McLeod, this other company that does diesel clutches. I mean, if you look at the brand of the disc itself, I'm pretty sure somebody else makes it, but you know, it is what it is. Y'all gotta make money. I say y'all, but all those companies gotta make money somehow. They gotta do it some way. So let's get to it. I wanna blow this clutch off, and then yeah, so let's go. I definitely feel like these are a little over tight. Check it out so you guys can see it's slipped. Get some hot spot. So if you look, these hot spots here, boom boom, they all line up pretty much with these pads, and so that's when this guy gets hot. And you can even see here high friction contact points in these areas on the outside. They definitely take a brunt of that load. But this is I think this is a organic clutch. See, this is a dual. So see, this is what a semi-metallic pad looks like. So this is our semi-metallic pad side. You can see it's looks like metal when it gets shiny and wears down, because it's got metal in it. That's what it means, semi-metallic, partially metal. And then this side is an organic side. So the problem is this organic side can't hold the heat or temperatures that this semi-metallic can, and this guy's kind of supposed to make up for that. But you're only as good as your weakest link. So, you know, you got these guys biting and holding when it gets hotter, and these guys actually releasing a little bit as they get hotter. So it's kind of a give and take. But this adds drivability, this adds gripping and clamping power. So I wouldn't say clamping per se, but it adds holding power, not clamping. Clamping is done by this guy here, which is our diaphragm springs, and then they actually physically push on this plate that pushes against this, which pushes against that, and that is what then starts biting. Pretty good. I'm happy with that. I feel okay utilizing this. He doesn't want to have to get it turned. I don't feel anything. It still looks really new and true, so I was worried about that, but I think we will be a-okay. Guys, this is no good, man. People start breaking these things, these coil wires. These are just, every single coil plug is just broken. Look at that, all three of those except for this one. These aren't difficult to take off. These shouldn't be like this. And the problem with this is, the problem that you get with these guys is they just never sit on. Like you can see, I push it on and it pushes itself off. So then as the engine vibrates, it'll literally rattle its way back, and then you'll get an intermittent spark blow out, and then you're chasing your tail figuring out what it is, and it's all the whole time it's been your broken thing. So, you know, this dude's just chilling over here hanging out. Look at him. Look at him, Mr. Moth. It's like, what's up, guys? Chilling. Coyote power. Give me the coyote power. He's a coyote lover. Even the moths like the coyotes. So here we go. We're gonna just get this harness off, so I'll set you guys up and we're gonna roll to it. Alright guys, so I skipped a little bit since I had the engine on the cradle. I took it off, we took some headers off, we took a bunch of stuff off. Been rolling around, so you can see we got the header off there. I got all my timing cover bolts there. I actually fired up our parts cleaner. It was moved over, not in use, so I filled it up, added detergent, got it rolling, cleaned the valve covers, cleaned the timing cover. Now we're going to get the oil pan off. I also saved his 15mm wrench from the K-member. Got it over there on the table, so now we're gonna pull this off, and I can already hear all the stuff rattling around, so I wonder what's gonna be inside. Holy bird, holy. Pretty sure that's a piece of a piston right there. Daggum, that's the bottom of a ringland. Tops of the piston. More piston. Look at that. Piece of ring. Piece of piston. Piston. The wrist pin is right there. We can see the wrist pin rattling around. Let's go ahead and get this undid. Alright guys, it has been some time later. This is the end of day 2 doing this, so I want to show you guys where we're at. I don't even know where I ended because so much has happened since then. But so much has happened since then, like I know everything. But anyways, I don't know what's going on, where we're at. So I think I showed you guys we had some stuff off, headers are off, that sort of thing. This is actually the new motor over here. I have it over here. I think I was disassembling stuff off the other engine. I had it up on the cherry picker. So now I have swapped the other engines over there, grabbed this engine, put it over here. I've started swapping the peripheral type stuff like I think I mentioned. So cam sensors, that sort of thing. I have to do this. He has this heater. I don't know if I showed you guys, which is pretty cool. I've never seen this on a Mustang before. This is the first one, but this is that heater. So you can see there's 2 wires that go into it. This helps in the winter time to just bring the coolant up to temp quicker. I think it's a secondary heater basically. Instead of the engine having to do all the work, this thing helps it get to temp quicker. I think it is cool because if you live in a cold place, you definitely want this so your engine coolant gets up to temp nice and quick, and you get that good heat out of your heater. So it is a must for cold places. That makes me think this car was a cold weather car just from that one thing alone. I think it's a cold weather package is what Ford calls it. I got that on my truck, so I have one of those on my truck as well. I love it. The truck heats up like that. You can fire it up, and in literally 2 to 5 minutes you have warm air blowing out of the vents, which is like unheard of for a diesel. So it basically turns a diesel into heating up like a gas car. I can only imagine a gas car like that with that, it probably heats up really freaking fast. So yeah, but let me show you the old engine. It is over here, you guys. We got it on the ground sitting there. It is out, so that's where it is. I think everything is ripped off of it. I just have to put the dowels, which came with the new motor, in the new block, but I'm gonna leave those ones with that. I may be buying this motor. I wanna pull it apart eventually and look at it. I wanna pull that engine apart and look at it and see what's good. I'm hoping the cylinder heads are good, and that way I can use them, because that's what I truly need for my build is Coyote cylinder heads. And then the crank, which I think the crank is good because the rod broke. So if that's good, we'll have a nice setup, and then I'll only need to buy one rod, and I can utilize my 15 plus rods and pistons in that and buy just one of them, maybe even get the rotating assembly balanced, and then reassemble it, put it back together with those cylinder heads and fix one of them if I have to, and hopefully go from there. But we have done a ton of cleaning, guys. It's late. It is 2:18. I don't know if you can see that, 2:18 in the morning. We've been cleaning, so I'm gonna let this sit overnight. There was so much fine metal debris in here in the oil pan. I almost hate to reuse them, but this pan I'm very confident in. With this setup, I've got everything out of it. So I'm gonna let it sit overnight just to break any of that oil down that's holding any fine metal in it, and then we're gonna rinse it out and it should be good to go. I had those sitting in the cleaner. You can see they're all nice and clean. I set them up like that so they could drain out, and yeah, so that's gonna be good. That's doing its thing. On this, I have the timing cover all cleaned up. I have the pickup tube is completely cleaned out, brake cleaned out, blowed out with air. We got her good and clean. New front main in this as well. New valve cover, or sorry, new timing cover gaskets, new front main seal. That's all in there. I just have this piece to clean, which I'll clean tomorrow. We have pretty much everything rolling right along to get this in the car tomorrow. So if everything goes to plan, we're missing a couple things. I need an O-ring for the pickup tube, that needs to come in. I also need the exhaust manifold or header gaskets, because there are headers on this car since it's NA. So I need header gaskets, which are gonna be brought over here tomorrow. And I need a pilot bearing, because that one in the old motor is seized. Plus when you take them out, they usually get all screwed up, jacked up, and they're not really reusable in my opinion anyways. They're so cheap insurance, buy new and put a new one in. So we're gonna do that, and then I gotta put the new water pump on, and motor mounts are gonna go on. I mean, this thing's gonna hopefully start really going together. I am nervous because there's 4 coil packs missing. I don't know where they are. Maybe they're in the trunk. I'll ask him where they're at, but I haven't seen 4 of them, so I don't know. And one of the coil packs is broken. I think I showed you guys that. If I didn't, broken, connectors broken. I don't like that. I'm gonna try and zip tie, do what I can to get them to hold, but I'm just not a big fan of that. So yeah, but that's our list so far on things that we need. Like I said, it's a couple things. So with those things, I think we can get this guy together. I don't think we need anything else. I have the silicone to do the rear main sealing on this, and I already cleaned the rear main. Like I said, it's over here. I don't know if I showed you guys. Check it out. We got all this stuff cleaned up. Rear main's nice and clean. The oil cooler or oil filter housing, this is a cooler adapter if it's a Boss. Since it's not, it's just the oil filter adapter housing. Valve covers are clean. You can see there's a little residual oil. That just is the way it is, but I'm not so much worried about that. We'll let these guys drain like this overnight. But you can see these are way cleaner than they were. They were super filthy, super dirty. So dipstick tube's even clean. So I'm finishing up here. That's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll get this build rolling. So later.